Modifications of adventitious roots, tuberous roots. These roots become fleshy because of storage of food and have no definite shape. Example is Ipomia batata, which is of course called as sweet potato, or you can call it as shakarkandi in Hindi, and this is considered to be a poor man's food. People, they use it after boiling and they are sweet in taste. Fasciculated roots. From the base or lower nodes of the stem, these tuberous roots arise, and this you get in Dahlia, asparagus, Ruelia, etc. These are the tuberous fasciculated roots. Moniliform roots. These are also called as beaded roots because of their bead-like appearance. And example is Mamotica carinthia, bittergourd, portulaca, rose moss, cypress, vitis. Vitis is grapes, and you can see this is a vitis plant where you can see these beaded roots. These are bead-like structures. Nodulose roots. The apex of these roots become swollen because of the accumulation of food. An example is Merenta, from which arrowroot is obtained, and another example is Curcuma amada, which is called as mango ginger, and here you can see the nodulated roots. Prop roots. In some plants, roots arise from the branches and enter the soil. Thus, they provide mechanical support to densely branched huge trees, and the common example is banyan tree. Botanical name is Ficus bengalensis, and as I told you, one of the oldest banyan tree you will find in Calcutta. Stilt root. In some plants, roots are formed from the nodes of the lowermost portion of the stem and provide mechanical support to the plant by fixing it in the soil firmly. Example is Pandanus, tinctorus, that is screw pine, xiii, and Saccharum officinarum, that is sugarcane. And here you can see the white stilt root which help arising from the base of the stem from the nodal region, and they provide support to the plant. Climbing roots. In some climbers, roots are formed from the nodes of the stem which helps the plant to climb. And here the example is Pothos, that is the money plant, and piper beetle, that is the palm. And here is the photo of the piper, the cultivation of piper beetle. It's a climber and it is climbing by means of roots. And this plant is cultivated maximum in Uttar Pradesh. Floating roots. In some aquatic plants like Jussided, two types of roots are formed from the nodes of the stem. One remains inside the water while other remains in the air, helping the plants to float. So this is a floating hydrophyte, Jussided, and here you will have the floating roots that help the plant floating. Epiphytic roots, they are hygroscopic roots. Some epiphytes, example orchids, have aerial roots. In these roots, the outer covering is made up of spongy tissue, the velamen, which absorbs moisture from the air. You know, epiphytic plants are those which are growing on other plants and they just take the shelter from the plants, and you can see this is an orchid growing as an epiphyte, and you can see these epiphytic roots which are characterized by velamen which helps in the absorption of moisture from the atmosphere. Assimilatory roots. In some plants, the roots start synthesizing food, means they develop the green pigment and they are capable of doing photosynthesis. And the examples of assimilatory roots are Tinospora, Trapa. Trapa, of course, is water chestnut. Its full name is Trapa bispinosa and Teniophyllum. Here you will see that the roots, they are growing above the ground, develop chlorophyll and capable of doing photosynthesis. And that is why they are referred as assimilatory roots. Parasitic roots. Some parasitic plants develop sucking roots or haustoria which enter the host plant fulfilling the purpose of nutrition, and Cuscuta is an example which is called as dodder and you call it as amarbale in Hindi, and here you can see that this is a total stem parasite sending the haustoria and deriving the nourishment for the plant itself. Mycorrhizal roots. In some plants, the roots bear fungal hyphae which function as root hair, and it is called as mycorrhizal roots. Example is Pinus and orchids. You know, mycorrhiza is a symbiotic relationship between the roots and the fungal hyphae. And the fungal hyphae helps in the absorption of water and minerals, and in turn, they take the food from the root. Mycorrhiza can be ectotrophic mycorrhiza, where the fungal hyphae is attached externally, as you see in Pinus, and sometimes you may get endotrophic mycorrhiza, and it has been observed that mycorrhiza accelerates the absorption of minerals for the plants. You can see here these thread-like structures are the fungal hyphae attached to the root and helping in the absorption of minerals and water. That is, they have taken the function of the root here. Clinging roots. These roots form arising from the nodes of the stem and penetrate the stem of the host plant. Example is orchids. You can see these white structures are the clinging roots and it is arising from an orchid. Reproductive roots. In some plants, for example, Trichocentis diota, commonly called as parval. You know, this parval is used as a vegetable. It is grown extensively in Bihar, and here the vegetative buds are formed by roots which form the new plant. Now you can see these buds are developing in the roots and they are capable of producing the new plant. Root thorns. Roots of some plants arise from the stem and change into thorns, thus performing the protective function. Example of the root thorn is Pothos, that is money plant, and Acanthorrhiza. Now here you can see this is a money plant with roots having or will develop thorns which helps as a defensive organ. Contractile roots. In some plants, the apical portion of some thick roots of the underground stem contract and helps the plant in fixing in the soil. Example is crocus, that is saffron, kesar, and allium cepa, that is onion. Here you have the flowers of crocus, and another picture shows the onion showing the contractile roots.